The theme for this class came from a book by Ram Koolhaas, the Dutch architect, called Delirious New York. Koolhaas brings up the idea of something called the paranoid critical method. This is actually Salvador Dali's idea, that he wanted to wage a kind of constant war on visual reality. And he did this by substituting delusional images for the real world. And in this way, he systematized confusion and discredited reality completely. Koolhaas takes this idea of the paranoid critical method and imagines or argues that PCM is not just a surrealist method, but is actually a method that is widely practiced, particularly in New York, at least for his argument. So he looks, for example, at Le Corbusier, who is one of the most significant 20th century architects and a kind of fantastical designer of New York City, in the sense that he imagines a new landscape or cityscape for New York, even though he's never been to the city. Our beliefs are structures and examples of the paranoid critical method, to the degree that we have an idea, a delusion, that is then structured or supported by massive amounts of evidence. All the evidence, like a paranoiac, points exactly to what we always believed. Racism is a primary example of a paranoid critical method, and Ta-Nehisi Coates, in his book Between the World and Me, talks about this idea of the construct or delusion of white bodies, which then produces the alternative construct of black bodies. So a student might explore that, explore the history of that paranoid critical method, the stakes, the fears, the desires of that, but also, I think, ideally imagine alternatives to a paranoid critical method. At the same time, if we look at our political world right now, the ridiculousness of the paranoid critical method as Dali practices it is subverted in its political reality. So I don't want to give too many examples because I'm much more interested in seeing where students discover this, and I think that's a lot of the work of the class, is that discovery of where this method is occurring actually in our world.